Yeah, I want to talk about moving to a warmer place, a place where you have fresh food everywhere, fresh, meat, lots of good fresh air, mountain spring water. And that's the case here where we are in Ecuador. We're in the Andes. We're 2,000 meters above sea level. And the city is called Loja. And what happens here is there's a very easy way for you to be very healthy. And it starts with the produce. So Ecuador is very interesting because it has three growing zones. So you have the ocean side, you have the Andes, and then you have the Amazon. And slowly they're filling up these areas with different type of food. So you're actually getting tropical food, you're getting normal, coal and vegetables, carrots, and then you're getting on the other side another set of warm weather fruits, tropical fruits. So food is everywhere here, and where we are, water is everywhere here. And if you move a little bit out of the city and you get away from those diesel vehicles, you have incredibly fresh air up here in the Andes. So the problem is you need a good ticker, you need a good heart, because it makes a difference being a little bit higher. And I'll give you an example. There's people that we know that have a place 400, 500 meters higher up this way. And there's another couple of friends we have that have places up that way that are maybe 300 meters higher than us. I'll tell you something, that extra 400 meters makes a huge difference. And the difference is noticeable. You're short of breath. It's not the same as being at 2,000 meters compared to 2,500 meters. So when you're buying a place here in Ecuador, make sure you figure out what elevation you're at, because it might stress you out a bit more if you're another 200-300 meters. If you had to decide between two properties, one property is 427 meters lower, that makes a big difference. It's going to be a lot warmer. You're going to be wind protected. When the wind howls here in the Andes, it hammers those places up high. And we're in this gully here, and it's completely different. There's not as much wind damage and wind penetration into the house. It's a lot more safe in this area for wind protection. So back to the food. So let's say you go to a local market here, and there's, let's say, 23 vendors. They have, let's say, 4 or 5 different types of bananas. They have anything you can imagine, tropical, heads of coal, they have everything. And you buy this food, and you'll notice an incredible difference. And the difference is everything ripened on the vine, so to speak. So the bananas never ended up inside a container. They basically were picked yesterday and brought to market today, or picked on Friday, and it's Monday now. So the food is super fresh, and it's delivered in real time. There's no container, there's no aircraft, there's nothing. It's just straight farmland to buyer, to market to buyer. And that makes all the difference in the world for this produce. When you eat a banana here, they have these little bananas, they're about this big. It's like dessert. It's like you don't need a chocolate bar, you need nothing. You can just eat these, delicious tiny bananas. They're fantastic. And everything seems to be that way, that I think the farmers here are very simple. They can't really afford heavy fertilizers. I think most of them are organic. I don't think there's much real need for, spraying everything. You do see people walking around with spray containers on their back. But I think the majority of food here is grown very organically. They just don't have the means to make it very sophisticated. You will notice right away when you start to eat this produce, you will notice right away that you're feeling better, that you desire more of this food instead of something that's a little bit junky or fast foody. You actually start enjoying this really fresh food. So the water situation here is very interesting because we get our water from a mountain up here, and it's coming down in pipes into storage containers. And that water is basically spring-fed water, so you could basically just have a tap, fill up bottles, and you could sell the water. That's how good that water is. When you take a shower with that water, it's like the minerals are encapsulating you. They make it really invigorating to have a shower in that water. Even if you're heating the water up, it makes no difference. The water just feels fantastic. So now here's the scenario that I hear over and over again, and people say don't buy land in Ecuador, rent, rent, rent. And you know, I'm of a different opinion. I think owning your own land and decorating it and having all your food growing there and not having a landlord and sort of being in control of your destiny is a lot more valuable than not having a piece of land and having to rely on your landlord to behave properly. So if you can afford it, doesn't matter how small that piece of land is, and if you can afford to put a house on it, you're miles ahead getting that piece of land and getting a house on it, or if there is a house already on it, that is the way to go. I don't care what anyone will tell you. I made a great video about buying real estate. There's all kinds of traps and tricks and problems, and so just watch that video on how to buy real estate in Ecuador. So if you want to come to Ecuador to get healthy, I would give that a thumbs up. I think you can come here and get a lot healthier, but you have to pick the right place. You have to be away from the diesel trucks. You have to be in an area where it doesn't get 35 degrees every day. We get weather here, it's 21, 19, 18, 17, never gets higher, never gets lower. So probably the best weather in the world, but you don't have any seasons. You basically have 365 days of the same weather. It rains a lot. There's no way of forecasting any weather here. You can have sunshine in 1 hour, it can start to rain the next hour, it can be overcast for the whole day, or it can be sunny the whole day. There is no rhyme or reason to this weather. Watching or looking at the weather forecast is useless. Might as well not do it. It's always wrong, and it's always predictable anyways. You just look outside is better than looking at the forecast. So is Ecuador the place to retire? I would say, look, if you're not healthy, you want to get healthy, you want to live cheaper, you want to hide a little bit. What I mean by that is if you don't want to be a socialite, this is a great place to do your thing, enjoy yourself, and sort of pick your friends wisely in this place. We have a really strict policy. If you have done something bad to us, we don't deal with you anymore. It's an absolute cutoff. And we've done really well by that philosophy. Ecuador has so many great people, so many really nice people that will give their shirt off their back to you. We associate with those type of people. The ones that, you know, want to get your money right away. They steal from you, they have bad intentions, they use you. All those people, we just cut them out, and we go straight for the people that enjoy working on a great project, they enjoy seeing progress, they want to learn. Those types of people really interest a lot here in this country. So if you want to come to Ecuador, the immigration policies are pretty easy. You need to spend, for example, $42,500 to be an investor, get an investor visa. So Ecuador has a lot of possibilities. The language problem is very grave. Really speaking, there are so few people here that speak English. I've actually never been to a country with so few people speaking the English language. You would think the youth would be very good at speaking English, but they aren't. I don't know what the percentage is of people that speak English here, but it's got to be incredibly low. To bump into somebody that speaks English in this Loja area is almost impossible. I have come across a couple of people, but that's it. There's just, you basically can't get away. You can't get away here with just speaking English. You have to pick up the Spanish language. You have to practice. You have to learn. And it makes a very big difference if you speak the language, because you can actually communicate in a lumber yard. You can communicate when you go to pay your tax bill. You can communicate, whatever it may be. You can communicate enough to get those simple things done. So it's important to speak Spanish. I want to talk about these people that are 60, 65, 70. They come here, especially in Vilcabamba. They get themselves an apartment, and the apartment is their stronghold, and they don't really engage in the society here too much. And I think I kind of realized a lot of those people are unsatisfied. They're really connecting to their own people, their own Americans or Germans. So they're staying within their group of English speaking or German speaking, or they stay within that group, and they're not really adding to the culture, to the society. They're in their own realm. And I think that would be very tough for me, especially. I couldn't really do that. I like to show my skills to people, teach them, give them some work, get them involved in a nice project, move their abilities forward. And I think that's important to, when you come to new places, to share your skills and to make sure that you're contributing. So is Ecuador a really good place to come? Yes. Can you get frustrated here? Yes. Can you survive here? Yes, you can. Does it get frustrating here once in a while? Yes, it does. But I think the entire world is in turmoil right now. I think the G5 nations, a lot of the people are looking for a place to go. And I think Ecuador has something special. And I think that the special thing that Ecuador has is that it's kind of a time warp. It's like 1965, 68. You're going to come here and you're going to be sort of being faced with opportunities that you would have had if you went back in time in your country in 1968. That's sort of where we're at right now. But be very well aware that that's changing rapidly. Real estate prices are going up. Real estate awareness is going up. And what I mean by that is that people really understand that the most valuable commodity in Ecuador is owning your own piece of land. It's like this power play when you own your own piece of land. Is, you know, it's very interesting. It's not like that in many other places. Land is king here, and it makes you sort of more respected. It makes you you're a contributor if you own your own piece of land. It's hard to explain, but land is crucial here. I don't know what it is with this scenario, because the locals are really putting a lot of value on land right now, and the prices are going up, and the good properties are sort of being chewed up by anyone who can afford something. I think it just simply has to do is there's a lot of money around and there's nothing else to invest in. It could be that simple. So if you want to come to Ecuador, I would say it's one of the better places. Is it the best place? I don't know, because I don't know the other situations. But is it a feasible place where your money goes further, where you can get healthy, where you can work through problems, where you can actually own a piece of land, where you can improve a piece of land, put a house on it? All those things are quite easy here. There is a forward movement in your abilities here. You can move forward, you can progress, you can get your house finished, all those things are possible. And I think that freedom is what a lot of people are looking for. They don't want to go to a building department and there's 612 regulations you have to fulfill. There's none of that. It's quite straightforward to do a lot of things here. Money definitely helps. If you come here with money, it is 10 times easier. If you come here with no money, it is very risky because it is hard to make money here. You have to remember that 75% of all male labor force is working in construction. That's the number that I've heard many times. So you have this massive amount of men that are mixing cement, and carrying it up and casting large roof surfaces. So construction here is very labor intensive. I also have experienced that these houses that are built here, these cement bunkers, let's call them that, they are so full of humidity, and even if they have a roof, it's like for some reason the humidity here in the Andes will enter the cement and go through the wall, especially if there's no roof over top of it. They just paint the roof, and that humidity does get into the house, into the cracks, and you'll have a line of mold growing at the bottom of every room. So I recommend, if you are going to construct here, is do the steel frame with insulation and vapor barrier. You'll thank me later, because it makes the house so warm. You don't need any air conditioning, or you don't need any heat. So that's a fantastic tip. And if you really want to get better, get healthier, I have no health issues myself, but if you really want to get better and you want to improve yourself, eating the food here, drinking the water here will make you a healthier being. And there is a real scenario where you're kind of giving up commercialism here. You are not able to buy certain things. There's supermarkets have everything, but you can't stay away from them. You can eat locally grown food every day, and that makes a really big difference for how quickly you can heal yourself and how quickly you can start to feel better. Ecuador, if you move out of the cities, it is a very clean country. It has a lot of fresh air, and it gets washed down every couple of days in the Andes. So you basically have a clean start every couple of days because there's so much rain all the time. And it's a great place to live. You just have to figure out if it's for you, and if you can survive being in a foreign place with a foreign language and foreign attitudes and foreign customs. And you can also do something very interesting, and that is you can sort of separate yourself a lot from this Ecuadorian craziness or the ideas they have, and just create a bubble for yourself. And as I said, just pick really good people to have around you.